Hello, in this tutorial I will give you an overview of JMeter tool, and we will also try to understand what is performance testing, load testing, and I will also give you one simple example of actual real life production environments where this JMeter tool is used. So let's start with understanding what is JMeter. So this tool is an open source tool. It means that this is free to use. You don't need to buy any license. Anyone can download it from internet, install and start using this tool. Next, we will see what is use of this tool. It's used for performance testing and load testing. So in big companies or whenever you have any production software, you need to make sure that its performance is good and it can handle particular load. So with JMeter tool, we can easily do this kind of testing. In next chapters, we will actually do the demonstration and example of this test cases writing on different APIs and GUIs and websites. The third important point for this JMeter tool is its graphical user interface. So it comes with a graphical user interface tool, which makes test cases writing and test cases execution very easy. So anyone with minimal knowledge can create test cases using this GUI tool. In next chapter, we will go through GUI of this tool, and we will also create simple test case. Next point about JMeter is report generation. In JMeter, you can create nice representative reports. Like example, HTML reports can also be generated, which makes demonstration of your test results easier and easy to understand. Next is about different targets which JMeter can test. So under JMeter, you can test different APIs, databases, website, and many more other targets. JMeter is a multi-threaded application. It means that it can be used to simulate a real world traffic. For example, if you want to simulate thousands of requests to API, it can be easily done with JMeter tool. And finally, JMeter comes with a CLI support. CLI is command line interface support, wherein JMeter gives us different commands with which we can execute JMeter scripts. So whenever you have to do production test, GUI is not recommended. It is recommended to create a script and run it through command line interface. So on very simple level, you can understand JMeter is a tool, a free tool, which is used for doing performance and load testing. And it also comes with many facilities like graphical user interface, which makes testing easier, report generation, which makes result understanding easier. And also there can be number of target which we can test with JMeter, like API, databases, websites, etc. To understand JMeter, it is necessary to understand performance test. So performance test is done to check how your API or any target, maybe database or website, will behave under particular load. Load here means in case of API, for example, it can be number of requests to your API. In case of database, it can be number of queries to your database. Load test is a classic example of performance test. Performance test is a broader area, and under load test we try to, if you can see from this representation image, we try, and this is a API, for example. Let's assume that this is our API, and at particular load we try to check behavior of your APIs, and this is done to make sure that our APIs perform well and meet SLA under particular QPS. So let me explain what is SLA. Let's say you have API which promises to create 100 users per second. So this is SLA of this API, 100 users per second. So now since you have SLA for this API, creating user API, so now you know that you have to pass load of 100 requests to this API every second and see that it is creating that many users in 1 second. Load test run for some particular time. For example, we can run it for 5 minutes duration and try to pass continuously 100 requests to this API and see that in every second we get response. This entire performance test, load test, falls under non-functional testing, where we actually don't test the functionality from coding's perspective, but from the behavior perspective of the system, where multiple aspects of your software can be involved, like network, database performance, API performance, etc. There is also another kind of testing that is called stress testing. This type of testings are usually used to check the breaking point of your APIs, like maximum capacity which your APIs can handle. And there are different purposes of doing this in any production environment, so that we are aware like at what request or at what traffic your system can go down and start returning failures, so that if we are aware of this, then we can take necessary actions. Now we'll go ahead and see one real world example where JMeter can be used. So for this example, I am considering e-commerce APIs. Consider the e-commerce API which is creating order, and I have also mentioned SLA for this API. SLA is this request. This API will respond in 1 second, first point, and maximum 1000 QPS this server can accept. So when we say maximum 1000 request, that is in 1000 maximum up to 1000 requests, we guarantee that our API will return response in 1 second. So as you can see on this screen, we have JMeter. So in JMeter, we have to prepare a test plan, which is our input. So from JMeter, we will be passing 1000 requests to our API server, create order API, for 10 minutes, let's say for example. And API server will keep on sending back response to JMeter. JMeter will record every response and how much time every response is taking. And from that response, JMeter will generate some reports like this. From reports, we can understand like how your API server was behaving for every request. So you can see we have response time over here in milliseconds. We can also keep on changing this NQPS, like ramp up it from 50, 100, 500, etc. So there are very different customizable options in JMeter which we can use for performing test. In next tutorial, I will be explaining in detail how we can create our first JMeter test plan. I will also make a JMeter installation tutorial, which is quite easier. I hope you have understood this simple example and simple explanation of JMeter. If you have any questions, please feel free to add them in the comment section. Thank you very much for watching this video. Please subscribe to my channel.